Hi and welcome to the training video here. We're going to do a bit of VLookup here. Just zoom back. And the idea of VLookup is it looks at one number, which we'll type in here, in A2. It will then cross-reference that number against this customers table. Zoom in so you can see. There we go. So if we typed in number 1, it will cross-reference it for the name, which will be Fred Sandwiches. And we can do the same for phone number and email. In that way, every time that Fred Sandwiches places an order, we don't have to retype their name, their phone number, their email. We just need to add the product that they've ordered and how much they've ordered as well. And we can have totals and things worked out as well. So we're going to go through this, and there's going to be other VLOOKUPs as well later on. So the first thing I want you to do is making sure you're on the Orders tab. Click in cell A2 and type in number 1 in cell A2 and press Tab on the keyboard. That will then move the tab cursor across to the B2 cell, and that's where we're going to type in our formula. So what I'd like you then to do is, if you're going to click on the FX button, and then you can see it comes up Insert Function here at the top, and in the Search for a Function text box, we're going to type in VLookup. Now you can use natural language here to look for a particular function. We're not going to do this right now. We're just interested in VLookup. So if you type in there VLookup, and where it says select a function, you see it says VLookup there. Click on that and click on OK, and then you've got the function arguments box here. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so the first thing it's asking for in the VLookup is the lookup value. So the lookup value in this case here will be cell A2, because that's the customer number. That's what we want to cross-reference against the table. The second argument is the table array, and that table array exists on the customers sheet, and we're going to select the whole table here. If I move it out of the way and select from the customer down to the email there. So when we've selected it, it should automatically write customers A1 to D5. We're going to press F4 on the keyboard to put the dollar signs in, so it keeps it absolute, so that when we copy this formula down for other customers, other orders, then it will always get the information from the same place. The third argument is the column index number. Now what does that mean? So if I click back on table array here, the way this works, the column index number is the number of the column in the table in which is the information that you want to look up or to bring back. So in this case it's going to be column number 2, because customer number is number 1, name is column B, name is column 2, C column is column 3, and D is column 4. You can't put anything else in this column index number than an integer, a whole number. So in this case we'll type in the 2, and we can see down here it's already working because it's got Fred Sandwiches. So if you're following this exercise along and doing this exercise yourself, then make sure it does say Fred Sandwiches there before you move on. And the last argument is optional. Notice these three are bold and this last one isn't. This means that this is optional. You don't have to type anything in, but the fact that you haven't typed anything in, true or omitted, means that you've typed true in. What we need to type in there is false, because we don't want it to find a rough match. We want it to find an exact match, i.e. if the customer number 2 doesn't exist, so in the A1 there, so if the customer number 1 doesn't exist, then we get an error. Further VLOOKUPs will show you where we can use the range lookup of true. That's good, that's all done. Click on OK, and we can see Fred Sandwiches appears here. Let's test that out by clicking in customer number there on the 1, type in a 2, press enter, see it comes up Munching Joe's. Let's do it for one more, type in 4, press enter, Norbert's Nibbles. So it's taking that number, so if we go to Norbert's Nibbles, and then zoom in just a little bit more, just go up to the formula bar to see the formula. So this is the name of the function, VLookup. That's the cell reference is looking up. Here is the table array. That's the column number, so it's the second column. And no, we don't want it to look up a range. We want it to look up an exact value, so we type in false there. Just have a think about that, because it seems just a bit topsy-turvy with that one there. So you type in false for an exact value and true for a rough value. Just press enter to put that in there, and just zoom back. Thank you very much for listening. More information can be found at www.computertutoring.co.uk.